Hey, everybody, it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. That's right. It's time for yet another episode of Sarcastic Distractions, the interesting podcast for interesting people. This is ourselves and those that are listening to us, just like you. And as always, you have the Gentleman Society of Podcasting, myself, Harvey, my heterosexual life mate, David, and the ever-loving AJ.
Hi-ho.
And today, going down to South Park and have ourselves a time. Friendly faces everywhere, and I can't remember the rest. But yes, we're talking about, by far, my favorite show of all time, South Park. And all the great things that are South Park. Like, no joke, guys. They asked like the deserted island question, like what would you take if you're on a deserted island? That would be the show. That would be the TV show.
That one show.
Just that. Well, if I could only have one show to bring to the deserted island, it would be that show.
What season? What if they only told you could take one season?
I'll be season 8.
Season 8.
Season 8. Yeah, probably season 8. Yeah. Let's Fighting Love. Like.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
That's where I say.
That's what.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about all things South Park. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators as well. Just talk about their other awesome things and stuff. So let's get into it. So full disclosure. So even though I'm a super fan, I would say AJ is also a super fan. Our fandom probably rivals each other. And now because we're such fans, like they make it better. And we're like,
I don't know if I have the encyclopedic knowledge that you do. I actually had to go through and make sure I remembered stuff. I have pages of just notes but I mean, I've seen them all a gajillion times. I don't know what I do in my private life that would make me forget such things, but
that's a great question. I don't know. And Dave, you yourself,
I would say
you were an early fan,
but I have
right?
integrity.
Sorry, AJ. Yeah. Dave, you yourself were an early fan, but you haven't watched much of it in a while. Am I correct?
I do remember watching the odd one back in the day, but yeah, like I haven't watched anything recently, and I'm still amusing myself internally that you sent me all these lovely things that I should try to watch. And I started seeing the dates when they were released. I'm like 2007, 2008. Like even these things are like 13, 14 years old. And yeah, I had never watched them, I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy. Yeah. Wow. So what AJ and I did was we curated a list for Dave to watch of 10 episodes. Maybe we'll put the episodes in our episode notes. So if you want to follow along and watch them, you're more than welcome to. Take
a screenshot.
Pause your screen. And so that he can kind of get caught up. And I would say they're favorite episodes of ours, but also kind of more poignant sort of things. It was really hard to select our list too, don't you think?
It was incredibly difficult. We had a good, at least an hour-long chat about which episodes, because I mean we trailed off and started talking about other episodes and whatnot, because it's a great show.
It really is. It really is. And before we get into Dave's opinions on certain episodes of things, I just want to say, like, the reason why I think it is, like, I personally, I think they might be the best creators to come out of America, like USA. And the fact that they've been able to do this thing where they mask these big issues in satire and, kid humor, if you will, it's bloody ingenious. It's like, it's so smart. And to dovetail it with, all the social commentary, the fact that they do it in such a, short turnaround time, there's just nothing like it. There's nothing. And
I've heard
better.
I've heard tell that that's one of the reasons why they don't get canceled.
Oh,
I mean, yes, all the body humor and everything like that, but it's because they've put some sort of social commentary in the episode that they're allowed to do it as outlandish as it is.
Is that because they put the disclaimer on at the beginning of every episode? Like they can just get away with whatever they want because they say, oh, by the way, these are badly done impressions and such.
That could definitely be part of it. But no, I think it's because, like you were saying, there's certain episodes that deal with actual issues, right. And then at the end, it's like, well, I learned something today, or somebody seems to always learn some form of lesson,
right,
about something, right? So
yeah, very very done in the traditional sitcom style of Days of Yore. So yeah, I love it. So Dave, yeah, let's get on with our what you watch, because I definitely watched all these. I mean, I've seen them all a million times, but I just figured, well, I'm going to watch South Park anyway, so here we go.
That's good.
So these are the episodes. Yeah. So what did we start you with? We started you with.
Well, before we get to that, I guess I'll just quickly jump on that. Yeah, I would say all of these episodes, they're not bad. Like, and again, I kind of meant kind of as a South Park, whatever. But none of these are bad. They're all good episodes. But I have to, and I'll be honest, right up front, I'm not going to go out of my way and suddenly like watch all the seasons or anything. Like, it's one of those things that even watching some of these old things that were happening, Obama being elected, things like that. It was. By the way, the Obama one was my favorite, but we'll get there.
That was AJ's. He's like, I bet you Dave's gonna like this one a lot.
That I have to admit, that one really got me well done. That was, we'll get there. But yeah, like it was funny. Like I have my notes here, just general stuff. Like and one thing I'll also give them, and this is a silly thing as a +1 to them, how every season the start is different based on all the clips from previous seasons, how quickly it goes through the characters. But what I love most of it is as I was watching, I'm like, did I just see what I thought I saw? What the? But of course, one of these episodes shows quite well that, yes, I probably saw it. And yeah, they're willing to do whatever they want.
Really, they really are. It's pretty amazing. So that's fair. Like you'll definitely watch it, but you're not going to go and pursue. The need to. Fair.
Yeah, if I was over at one of you guys' place and oh shit, Dave, I'm watching the latest one. Yeah, sure, it's done. Kick-ass. Yeah, let's do it.
Gotcha.
So it's not something that annoys you or that you'd have to, like, I can't sit there and watch I can sit there and watch my wife, but I can't sit there and watch the HGTV shows.
Right.
Like I just kind of turn around and just, no, there's maybe one that I'll sit through, but okay. So cool.
No, that's exactly it. Yeah. And the only other thing I'll throw out there was out of the list that I did watch, I was disappointed to only see Kenny die once. But
I think we did that kind of intentionally. I think that was what
because I admit it has been a long time, but I always remember every episode Kenny died. And I was like, shit, I'm like halfway through this list you guys gave me, and Kenny hasn't died.
Well, yeah, they got to a point where they kind of just said, "Fuck it, this is stupid." Right?
Yeah.
Have them die every episode. It's just the same thing over and over again. Yeah.
It's interesting you say that, because whenever I talk to people who aren't, they don't follow South Park, but they're aware of it, which is probably everybody, they'll always say that, oh my God, you killed Kenny, you bastards, or whatever. It's like, that's the one thing they remember. And it's like, wow, they're so far past that now. Like,
oh yeah.
In fact, they've incorporated the fact that he's died so many times into his lore. Like it's now like a superpower for him.
Yep.
It's just insane, right? It's amazing. So
nice.
So I'm glad that you got that reference. Like, oh wait a minute, he hasn't died once yet. Yeah. we should have showed you Ladder to Heaven. That should have been on the list.
Well, we stuck in quite a narrow range too. Oddly enough, like it wasn't intentional. I don't think.
No.
Just it seemed like between seasons, the 7 seasons pretty much that we picked from. Those were our favorite episodes.
Cool.
Yeah.
As I said, all were good. It's just I don't know what to say. They were all good. We'll go through each one individually. One was the best, but they were all good.
Fair. I hear you. Wait a minute. You watched Imaginationland and you didn't think that was the best?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I watched, and that's the one with the 3, right? Yeah.
Like, the whole concept of our imagination's real, it's something that, like, I think that's just such a fun ploy to play with, and to do it in that way, where like every single character known to man come through is like, what? And you see like Jesus with Optimus Prime, you're like, what?
Yeah. No, it was
That's
funny.
probably one of my favorite parts too, is the fact that Jesus is there.
Yeah.
He lives in South Park.
He used to live in South Park.
Oh, right. He doesn't anymore. That's right.
But yeah, I just thought it was,
we're jumping ahead.
That's one of my favorite because it's
Santa.
ridiculous.
I always thought that was funny too. The way to start, fight back was that believe in Santa.
Yeah. The Red Sleigh Down, was that the one?
Yeah.
Was that I love that. You shot Santa's balls.
I think that was an earlier part, but I don't remember. Oh no, you're right. It was. Yeah, they jumped in. That's right.
I love it.
All right,
couldn't
we
do
jumped
it.
ahead. We jumped ahead outside. Of
Sorry,
episodes.
we have. Okay. Well, I mean, it is Sarcastic Distractions. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, there you go.
That's true. We got distracted.
That's right. All right, so yeah, we showed the first episode we went with, and there's no particular order of these, but was season 12, episode 12, About Last Night is the title of the episode, and that is basically, if you don't know, go watch these. You should. South Park, it's amazing. But basically, it was the 2008 election with Obama and McCain, and the idea is the election was just a cover up for. Diamond
heist.
Yeah. The entire election.
Yeah, the entire election. Everybody that you know that is involved with the politics, they're all jewel thieves.
They're all like Ocean's Obama's 11.
Yeah.
Right?
Nice. 11, yeah. Well, yeah, nice, yeah. Which I liked a lot because I thought what a cool concept to do. And there's no like, even though it's political, it's not really political. It's really just that's the vehicle they use to tell this ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I liked about this is that from my perspective, and it's a 13 years later perspective, but like no, they made both of them bad guys. They talked right up front about why both of them were in this election because it didn't matter who won. There's one of them had to win, which in the States that's how it's going to work. So like I got to give this one credit. This has nothing to do about being in the different parties or anything. This was just very simply, we're going to go rob and steal the diamond.
Yeah. And the other part, too, I thought was great was, like, you see the crowds reacting to Obama winning, and then you have the Democrats that are losing their mind. What? I thought this was America. What?
Yeah.
And the other Republicans that are crushed, but then the politicians, like it doesn't even matter. They're like, this was never the goal in the first place. I just think that's so great. It's a fun
It did remind me a little bit about Trump winning in a certain sense. That essence of there were some people, because I can remember when he first won in here in Canada, a lot of that story about, Americans are coming to Canada because they don't want to live there with Trump in charge and shit like this. And it's one of those things that now that Trump's gone, he's completely quiet, whereas I'm no expert by certainly on the American politician side, but he's completely gone. So did he just come in to rob and disappear the Americans in some way?
That's a good point. Wow. Oh.
Yeah. So really what we're saying is South Park sees the future.
They definitely.
Well, if we were to put any of the later ones or the newer ones on there, that has a whole storyline with Mr. Garrison going to Washington and becoming president, and they present him like Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Right? He's got like orange face and like.
So they put
yeah. So they did that. Yeah,
it was great. Nice. You should maybe watch that. That's pretty funny. But what's really great about that is they totally wrote themselves into a hole because when they were writing it out, they never anticipated Trump was going to win. So then he won, and they're like, shit. So they have to rewrite a bunch of stuff to make it work. And then, Garrison was their Trump, and it worked out really well.
It was, quite funny.
Yeah.
I definitely, I like Diamond Heist movies. I like those heist movies. So I thought it was a funny twist to have that happen.
It was
good to have Ike be involved.
Yeah, I also love that it wasn't just, the McCain and Obama. It was, Palin. It was the wife of Obama, all in on this. Like the whole scene where Palin's giving the fake speech. I'm laughing because I think they're making fun of her. And then she takes the call and she's like totally in the zone. Like, what are you fuckers doing here? I'm acting up here and get your shit done. I was like, oh shit, you got me. Well done.
I know. Like, you don't expect that, right?
I had zero expectation. I must admit, it's a horrible thing to admit, but I really thought they were just, dumping on Palin because it's Palin. And then no, they came around. No, she's out there kicking ass. Fuck off.
Yeah. Palin's dunking on us. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. It's so true, eh? Yeah. I love that. I think it's just such a really smartly written episode. And
it is.
I mean, they all are really. Then we went on. We did season 8, episode 1. Good Times with Weapons.
Oh, Good Times with Weapons. One of our favorites.
This is probably one of my top 5 favorite episodes of South Park all the time. I'm not gonna say that about all these. I'm gonna just like do them like this is our favorite episode.
That's why I always say one of.
I know. I love it. What did you think, Dave?
This one's great.
It was like, again, it was fun. It was good. The switching between the animation styles and how they would go in and out, I thought that was great. Like, this is, again, great example from my perspective. It was a good, fun episode. Like, it was. They bought weapons. They pretended to be ninjas because of it. And then, like, the whole story blossomed out from there. Like, no, it was good.
Don't you feel that they... Oh, sorry, go ahead, AJ. Sorry.
I was going to say, I think we can all relate to a story, something like that, where maybe it wasn't going to buy weapons, but, you're playing rocks and sticks with your friends and their guns and grenades, and you throw a rock at your friend, and it smacks him in the side of the head, and just... Right? Stitches time kind of thing. Oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of why I enjoyed it, because you could relate as an adult saying, like, oh, fuck, yeah.
I remember that as a kid.
Me and Jimmy.
Yeah.
They perfectly encapsulate what it's like at that time in your life when you're doing that. Like, it feels like, I think of, like, cause that's also the introduction to Butters as Professor Chaos, and him like walking out of his house for a little while, right? And it's just walking like so big and strong, and I was like, oh yeah, we used to do that in our house coats and stuff, like, just act like crazy kids, right? Yep. So I think they did a really cool job on that, but also too, like, it's the weirdest social commentary. It was the wardrobe malfunction where they don't tuck in until the very end. The whole thing has nothing to do with the fact that someone stuck a ninja star and someone nothing to do with that.
With him being naked. That's right. Yeah.
That payoff was so good. That was so good.
Oh my God. It's just, I don't know. I thought, let's go good.
It was good, and that caught me off guard because you see them all collected, and I'm not gonna lie, I just thought, they're going to talk about both issues. The fact that kids were running around with weapons, and then the one kid running up on the stage naked and all that, and then no, it's all about the kid being naked.
Well, here's the thing I don't understand. Like, this is how stupid Cartman is. This is how dumb he is. Like, they know they don't have magical powers. They know that. Like, they know that for a fact. Why he thought in his mind he could actually go up there invisible.
Because your imagination is real.
Yes. I'm on AJ's side on this one. No. When my imagination is working, it is working.
Right?
I also love that he's got multiple powers. Like, he's that kid.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, you son of a bitch. You're messing it up for the rest of us.
Yeah, when they're playing cops and robbers and crap as a kid, there's always that one. No, you can't arrest me. No. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Because I'm invincible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I have 100 bulletproof armors on.
Yeah.
You can't shoot me. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and that might be the best song they ever created, that anime song in that episode.
It's so ridiculously brilliant. I love it.
It's everything.
I actually once, I couldn't tell you what they were, but I once Googled the translation for that song. Nice. And it's fucking ridiculous.
Oh my God.
It's so funny. It's like, it's just the way it's presented too. It's so serious.
Oh yeah.
It's like this serious rock song.
It's so much
but
Japan.
It's the most, it's the most ridiculous lyrics, like nonsensical. It's so good.
Yeah, I love it. It's, oh man. Yeah, I can't get enough of that episode. It's funny. I don't even know how many times I've seen it, and I don't get sick of it. I was watching it this morning, and I was just like, oh. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I'm glad you obviously caught.
There's scenes. There's probably a scene in most episodes, like in this one, where they're trying to pull the star out of Butters' eye with pliers.
Yeah,
that just make you want to like you feel it, right?
And they cart the kid around on the wagon. Yeah. Take him to the vet.
The vet, I know.
The doctors think he's a dog.
Yeah.
Oh no, this poor puppy. I can't do anything. I'm a people doctor.
It was good.
All the stuff they come up with. And then the next episode was also from season 8. Episode 7 was Goobacks, which I think both Age and I picked this episode because we thought just the idea of, like, I want to say, is raising prejudice in general done in like set in time. That's really neat. So
it was incredibly clever, and it was kind of like foreshadowing in a way.
Yeah.
Right. Because of what President Trump did there, and
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
you know,
good point.
Like because there was more. I think there's always been. I don't want to say a problem because I don't find immigration to be a problem there, but in the States, there's always been this war on immigration, but it was never as apparent as, you know, the past, whatever 4 years was there.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of one of those again. South Park predicts the future, or The Simpsons predict the future. Simpsons did it. But yeah, this one I liked because it actually touched on some sort of social thing, but they presented it in a way that it was a little more lighthearted, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's definitely lighthearted. Yeah, the thing I liked about this, and again, I'm unfortunately jumping to the end of the episode, is how they solved the issue by actually going and recycling and solar, like really understanding the environment and how to actually be best for society, not so much worried about jobs and things, and how that's actually causing them to disappear because their future is actually going to be better. I love it. And then, of course,
but then fuck it, back in the pile.
This is stupid. Let's go back to the gay pile.
The work is so gay.
Wait a minute. They said this is so gay. Let's go back to the pile.
Doing all the gay sex stuff.
I remember the first time I watched this, I was at Chris's house. I was at your house. And they took my job fucking every time that part happened. I think we had to rewatch the episode again because we were laughing so friggin' hard.
When Randy says it, I can't. Every time when Randy's like, "They took my job," I'm like,
"Yeah,
took my job."
Oh my god!
But yeah, for that one, the ending. I have to admit, the ending caught me. I was totally out, laughing my ass off. Had to pause it. Yeah, well done.
I also love that was the initial solution. It's like, okay, wait a minute, we got to stop. Okay, just so anyone hasn't seen this episode, go watch it, like all of these episodes. But basically, the idea is, I know. Basically, the episode is a bunch of people from our future come back because they're not making money, so they decide to do jobs super cheap because it's like 1,000 years later they'll get interest and they'll make money, and the whole Terminator thing. But I love that the solution is because they're losing all these jobs. It's like, yeah, no, we'll just have a giant gay orgy that'll prevent people from being bored. Yeah. It's just, and everybody's in on it. It's like, oh, okay, all right. I just, oh my god! And can we just say how great is it that guy resembles what's his name, Fox, the comedian Jeff Foxworthy. Did anybody think that?
Oh yeah,
I didn't pick up on that.
No, I get that impression. Like he's supposed to.
I guess your typical redneck kind of. They took our jobs.
Yeah. And I don't know, just to do it from the perspective of the kids, and it's just great. It's just great. And that, like you said, Dave, that's the best part. It's like, oh no, this is the actual solution. I was like, no, this is stupid. I don't want. I don't want this in my life.
Yeah.
Let's go back and have gay sex.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe it's more fun. I don't know.
Hey, why not?
Why not? And then we kind of chose a bit of a sequel episode for our next one, but this is obviously a personal favorite of mine because it's wrestling. That was season 13, episode 10, called W.T.F, which is all about wrestling comes to their town. The boys get excited. They decide to go for wrestling because they want to be pro wrestlers, and then they realize amateur wrestling is not that at all. And
wrestling? It's not wrestling.
And hilarity ensues. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that episode again, that was a funny one. I got to give a plus to that one.
There's
some great lines.
Pardon, AJ?
There's some great lines in that one.
Oh,
definitely some good dialogue.
Just
the base and style of it that you already alluded to. I love that. Yeah, the kids get pissy when they see real wrestling, and instead want that. I'll call it fake, but it is, the show. It's all about the show, the style. Even they demonstrate it the right way, in my opinion. They start off with people doing pushes, but then every time they show them doing wrestling, it's talking. They very rarely wrestle. They're always talking.
It's like,
so much so that the real wrestler gets pissed off, and he doesn't go up and talk, and he gets hired to do wrestling.
I know that's the beautiful irony of it. Yeah. Not only do they build a promotion that gets bought out by Vince McMahon, that's cool, but then this wrestler who's like, this is all stupid, I hate this fake, blah blah blah. Yeah, he then gets hired. He's like, I'll take the job.
Well, that's why they were pissed at the end, because Vince McMahon came to see them but he didn't buy out the property.
Yeah.
Right.
They hired the ding dong.
Yeah.
To they just didn't have it.
Plus, this episode is the one where Kenny dies. Out of all the ones I watched, this is the only one Kenny dies.
Oh yeah, right.
Apollo Loco.
This is the only one.
I love it. They're just so on. Like everything is right about.
I'm addicted to abortions.
The bush. Yes, we're gonna wrestle because you slept with Vanessa last night. No. Okay. Sorry. Just because I'm a big fan of life imitating art. As we all know, I'm a big fan of wrestling, and AEW has their home spot, which is known as Daly's Place in the U.S. It's off Jaguar Stadium in Florida. They actually designed their venue in that Coliseum style based on that episode of South Park.
Really? Wow.
No joke. Yeah. And
Nice.
I think that's really awesome. South Park inspired AEW's venue. I think that's really
interesting and surprising, but all right.
I don't know if I would have done it too. Being a South Park fan, having the money, I would have been like, yeah, sure, let's make our wrestling venue look like that.
Let's do it.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's great. And you know what? Like I was saying this to AJ the other day. I was like, oh, it'd be really great if Trey and Matt got involved in wrestling or something like that. But now that I think about it, after watching this episode, they don't need to. They nailed it. Like there's nothing.
They already did.
They did it, right? Like anything they would do in that world, they would just do more of what this is, and there's no need to do that. In fact, all they really need to do is like some sort of sequel episode to WTF one day, if that ever is necessary. But they're not so forthcoming with their sequels. So, and then we went on. This episode was great. The one that got them in a lot of hot water. Season 9, episode 12, Trapped in the Closet.
This is one of my favorite episodes. I love this episode. Awesome. I have nothing but admiration and love for this episode because I'm sure we can all agree. I'm of the thought that Scientology is a horrible thing for people.
I'm not making money from it.
It might make you feel, it might make you feel good or whatever, and that's great. Like that's fine, and that's maybe what a religion should do. But it's how they go about doing it and the practices around that really rub me the wrong way. I tells ya, feller. So
yeah, I'm on to each their own. I have to be on that side, but what I did enjoy is because I'm not gonna lie, I Googled afterwards based on the episode and how they were describing Scientology, and everything they described is actually true.
Yeah, for sure. And just for context, now there's all this information about Scientology out there, and people are much more aware of its practice and whatnot. But back then, that wasn't necessarily the case, so people didn't really know. In fact, I remember my brother Josh and I, we were in Toronto maybe a couple of years before this episode came out, and I remember I knew a little bit about Scientology. I knew about L. Ron Hubbard, and I didn't know anything about Dianetics or Xenu or anything, but I had the gist. And I remember Josh and I were walking down the street, and someone was handing Scientology pamphlets out, and I love that he did this. And Josh grabs one, and I'm like, well, you know what Scientology is, right? And he goes, no. And I go, well, basically it's like religion where people who make a lot of money seem to benefit, and has something to do with aliens. But if you don't make a lot of money, I don't know if it's really great for you. And then he got really upset, and he ended up calling the guys like, you think you're making good money? It made me laugh. The incident. But then this episode came out, and I think it was like a huge eye opener for people to be like, oh, that's what Scientology is? Like, that's it. And I'm with you, Dave, like to each his own. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's not my thing, but if it's, whatever. But it's hard to deny the practices that Trey and Matt talk about that happened because they did this episode, right? Like, that's the thing where AJ's coming from, is like, well, they send private investigators after them. They went through their garbage. They caused them a lot of flack, all this stuff. And it's like, well, all I wanted to do with that was an episode on it.
Yeah. But, and again, though, I think if you did this style across most religions, you would have similar challenges.
I disagree, because they have. I disagree. They've done.
I have zero research, but I'd be surprised.
Red Hot Catholic Love is basically well, you know what? I don't need to say anymore. I think you know what that is. They didn't get nearly as much flack for that, and they did something really, really bad where they basically tackled some deep Catholic thing. I don't know what exactly it was, but some sort of really something embedded in it.
Yeah, and I might be wrong. It's one of those things. And
then wait. So one small example.
All right.
All about the Mormons with the Mormon episode.
Well, that one was good.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
But they didn't make fun of Mormons, in my opinion. But we're jumping ahead episodes.
I think they did, but at the end of the day,
I read that episode differently. So
okay, we'll talk about it. Either way. They never got the same kind of flack from any other religious organization that they've tackled. Well, except for Muslims. Sorry, there was.
I would say I thought there was one other thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
we'll pause.
Just two religions.
Well, we can talk more about that. I guess we have an episode about cults coming up soon, so
yeah,
we can definitely dive into.
That's gonna be some wily, some choppy waters, calling things cults and not. So, but yes, I can't wait for that episode.
Well, I think we'll focus more on the things that are actually cults versus what may or may not be.
Sure,
there's definitely a line. There's definitely a line.
Yeah, there's a line.
Oh, there's definitely a line. Oh, there's definitely a line
for sure.
But I'd say my favorite part about this was learning about. Even just learning, like regardless of what it is or what it isn't, learning about Scientology, and then I did the same thing. I went and Googled the whole thing. But the Tom Cruise and John Travolta, that
they were funny, and going in the closet.
The side story was with R. Kelly. I thought that was man.
Oh, so good.
The whole trapped in a closet thing. That's a 27-part R&B opera that R. Kelly wrote or something like that. There's literally 27 music videos, 27 4-minute music videos.
What on that song?
I'm dead nut serious, and it's the same fucking song.
What?
It's literally the same song, like the same music. And he's just continues this storyline throughout 27 4-minute fucking videos.
Oh my God.
It's ridiculous. And that's personally why I found it to be very funny how they poked fun at that.
That brings on layers now.
Oh yeah.
Especially coming from R. Kelly.
Yeah.
My favorite thing.
It's terrible.
I love the resolution. So the resolution is Stan's like, all right, listen, I can't do this. I'm not comfortable with this. It's like, you idiot. This is obviously a scam. Just write the stupid stuff. We all get paid. Let's move on with our lives. And he's like, I just can't do it. I just can't lie to people. And then what's the solution? We're going to sue you. Everyone's going to sue each other. It's like,
Well, and they get so angry because one of the things he ends up writing down was how everybody can join or not join, and he gets pissed off. No, they have to pay.
I love it.
Don't you get it?
Yeah.
It's great. And that was the episode that Isaac Hayes, chef on South Park, said, nope, can't do it because he was a practicing Scientologist. He left the show after that. Mm-hmm. That was it for him. He never came back. And, he did come back, but not, Isaac Hayes never came back.
Gotcha.
The character of Chef came back, in which we actually should have shown you this, where they basically map his falling out through basically treat Scientology as like this super best friends club where they basically do not so nice things to children. And I'm like, that's really hard to take. And the fact that they make Chef as this kind of unwilling participant in this, you're just like, wow. They know no bounds. There's no.
And all his dialogue was cut together from other bits of dialogue from other episodes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have really weird. It's funny because obviously they're making fun of him, right? They're poking fun at Isaac Hayes too. So But it was clever because the inflection on some of the words just doesn't match.
It wasn't the same.
Yeah, it's like, hello, children.
Nice.
And the real sad part about that episode, not to whatever we're talking about, episode we didn't watch, but the real sad part is he turns into like Darth Chef at the end of that episode, and we never see anything after that. Like that is the last time you see him. He does the whole thing from Star Wars Episode 3, but he's like, or something like that, and then that's it. So, anyways.
Understandable.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. And then was one of my favorites. It's definitely my top 5. We went through to season 14, episode 3, Medicinal Fried Chicken. Just for some context, this episode came out just as people were becoming accepting of marijuana being legal. So it wasn't legal in Canada yet at this point in time. But it was like California was taking it on, and I think a bunch of other states were like, okay, well, Colorado.
I'm pretty sure Colorado, yeah.
I think they were. And then this is like, I love that. He's like, I thought this was Kentucky Fried Chicken. He's like, nope, we sell cannabis. And cannabis. I was like, shut up. I can't even believe that he can get pot. And when he finds out it's medicinal, well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think, Dave?
Well, yeah, he tries to get it, and then ends up sticking his balls in the microwave. And for me, the thing I loved about this episode is not only does he do that to grow the super balls and bounce on them, but all his buddies do the same thing. I have to admit, the head nod to the creators. I never would have thought of this. And every time they came on screen, even though it was the same effing thing, I'm laughing.
It's like a hoppity hop.
And what I love is, and I probably should express this different, they may be overgrown, but yeah, they look like balls.
They did a good job. They really did.
Yeah.
And AJ, to your point of like those cringy moments, that moment when Randy's carrying his balls in the wheelbarrow and dumps over and he's scraping them on the sidewalk, like, ooh.
Yeah.
Or even think about bouncing on your own balls.
I know, bouncing. The bouncing is what I always think. I thought it was hilarious. And they're all just up and down the streets, completely happy, bouncing on their balls.
Bouncing on their balls. And then the female perspective. Chicks love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I thought maybe they were making fun of it, but then any scene there was a woman, she's like, oh, look at his balls. I was like, oh, fuck, they're serious about it.
Oh, so good. I don't think, and then the subplot of Cartman and the KFC, that whole thing too. Like, I thought that was really great. You basically do like a Scarface thing, right? Yeah. And oh my gosh, like this episode is probably flawless for me. I don't think there's anything they could have done differently to make it any better. Like, it's from top to bottom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was a good one. I love it.
Oh my
and
gosh.
The end of it, I almost forgot I have a note here for it. I can't forget this because even I was what the fuck? The leather jacket at the very end.
The scrote suit?
Yeah.
Why do they think of that? Like, where did that come from? Where is it like, okay, well, how are we going to end this episode? We're going to have him obviously lose his balls. His scrote is gigantic, so let's do a coat for her. It's like, what?
Yep. And what I also love is they don't try to clean it up or anything or show it as like a leather jacket. No, it looks like a ball set.
It looks like a balls.
Could you imagine in real life a woman wearing that? Could you even imagine?
I just thought of a great Halloween costume.
That's Buffalo Bill levels of crazy Halloween costumes. You know what I mean?
Like, oh yeah.
You put the lotion on.
But yeah, that was a fun one. I will give it.
Oh my god! Yeah. Whole new meaning to the term full body masturbation. Okay. I couldn't resist. All right, so and then now season 7, episode 12, all about the Mormons.
Oh yeah,
dum.
That was a good one. I like.
I really liked it too. You don't think, Dave, that they were making fun of Mormons in that one?
I truly don't. And again, maybe they were, but my perception of it was, in the episode there definitely was the expression that Mormons are different. That is true. But like all the more like for me, what really sold it was the end. But I was trying to jump there yet. But it was very much just no. They're a happy family. They don't expect you to be Mormon. They're totally cool hanging out with you. Go out, have some fun, do their shit. Like they'll say the statements from it's not the Bible. I can't remember the actual book name, but the Book of Mormon. That's it.
Book of Joseph.
But either way, all those things. Like that's what I like about this episode. Never in it do they actually like in my opinion, make fun of it. This is what it is. Again, another one where they actually describe exactly what it is and the history of it from the perspective of that religion. And yeah, it was one of those just kind of fun, hey, great. And yeah, at the end of it, it's the Mormon kid that's basically like, no, you know what? I don't want to hang out with you anymore.
For a Mormon to say that, wow.
Suck my balls.
Yeah, yeah.
See, go ahead, AJ. I'll say my point out.
I like the song. I like the song that plays throughout the parts where they're explaining the Book of Mormon, and it gets to the part with what's the other guy's wife, Harris's wife.
Oh yeah.
Lucy Harris. Smart.
Yeah. The dumb. I've forgotten about that. You're right. Yeah, I love just anytime the story came up in it, dumb. It was good.
But yeah, it was in a way. I mean, you could view it as them because they didn't go too far out of what the actual history of the book is. You almost get some sort of educational experience out of it. Same with the Scientology one, because they didn't say anything that wasn't factual about what the religion
itself
was founded on, right? So it's smart that way, I think,
for sure.
But I mean, again, teach their own, right?
Yeah, my thought process watching it was kind of similar to both your points, but I thought it was. Yeah, they totally were making fun by telling the story about Mormonism throughout the whole episode. But then the moral note or the end note being, it's like, yeah, maybe it is dumb. Maybe it's all made up, whatever. But it's brought me and my family a really great life. And life's pretty awesome because of it. So if you can't get on board with that or you got a problem with that, well, that makes you the dick, not me. I thought that was really cool because I think that transcends past Mormonism. That goes into everything else. It's like, yeah, maybe it is a wacky story. Maybe it is something that is all made up and people are getting money out of me for it or whatever. But at the end of the day, I got a really great life and I have that, religious experience to thank for it. So, I think that's something that's really great. And some context, I know AJ probably knows this, but with Matt and Trey, that's their favorite religion. Not that they're religious by any sense, but they said because Mormons have always been so nice to them in every way that they felt, they've really always appreciated, that good-natured ability that most Mormons seem to have, which is awesome.
Yeah, they've done a few things. They've done a few properties based around the Mormon faith. They're going all the way back to Orgasmo.
Yeah, Orgasmo, right? But the first movie. Yeah. Oh no, not first, second movie.
Second. Second.
Right.
So yeah, they did that, and then they did the stage play that you saw,
the Book of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon.
Yes,
which I'm not sure if they poked fun at Mormonism or not in that, but
but again, they use Mormonism as their vehicle, but they're poking fun at every religion. Like that's the goal, right? Is to basically say kind of how all of it is whatever. And what I don't want to spoil it. If you've not seen the Book of Mormon, you need to see it. I'm so biased, but my favorite play ever. But the cool thing is they basically show you from the perspective of whatever they're called, the elders, where it's like they're all, pie high in the sky. They're going to make the world a better place. But then when they're in these really horrendously bad positions, they're like, oh, this was not what we thought it was going to be. And then that's where kind of the crux of the play happens. And then they go on from there. It's unbelievable. And they clearly are a fan of Mormons. So, and here's how, to your point, Dave, both All About Mormons and the Book of Mormon, you think with the amount of slander, if you will, they throw at the Mormons' way, they would be upset. Maybe they would protest. That's not what they did. Nope. In fact, they doubled down on the advertising they were getting from South Park and would start promoting it for people to whatever. And then for the Book of Mormon, they asked if they could put an ad to apply to be a Mormon or whatever it is in the actual playbook of the Book of Mormon. And the Mormons
really?
Trey Matter Trey Matter absolutely you could do that. So instead of that, instead of them taking it on as oh, how could you? They're like, excuse me, we would really like to preach or talk to people that are interested in the Mormon faith. They're like, okay, like how do you say no to that, right?
Yeah.
So
wow.
So yeah, that's pretty cool that there's a bit of a partnership between Matt and Trey and Mormons.
It's interesting. And Mormons.
Mormons. And just for, I don't know how much. I'm not a live theater aficionado or anything like that, but I do know lots about the Book of Mormon. That first year on Broadway, it won 12 Tonys, which is like unheard of, especially for a play that's full of vulgarity and lewd and crude behavior, and like it's. I mean, it's basically a living South Park episode, really, right? If you think about it. And here they are getting 12 Tony Awards for it. Like, wow, that's really awesome. So, I don't know. Something to be said about how awesome they are. Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
Are they awesome?
They are awesome.
They're awesome?
Like,
you sure they're awesome?
Pretty awesome.
They're not just great or fantastic, or they're awesome?
They're awesome.
Okay.
Like Sum of Awe, that's what they are.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And then the next episode we got up to, which is another classic. And if you're a gamer, you've seen this. It's season 10, episode 8, Make Love, Not Warcraft. Now, I know, Dave, you're not like a World of Warcraft player or anything like that, but we thought because the gaming episode and the fact that they pretty much filmed the whole thing in World of Warcraft, you might appreciate that. So,
yeah, it was a fun episode, and they're just showing how they're trying to beat that one dude and how they become the one dude by just trying to beat the one dude. And yeah, no, like it was a funny episode. I giggled along with it. Yeah.
I think that was one of those. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just at the end of it, they just keep playing. I thought that was funny.
They just continue. Okay. Kenny, can you equip to your heart bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say it's my wife's favorite episode because she used to play the World of Warcrafts.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, I played it. Don't get me wrong, I have played it. It is fun, but yeah, I never got into it huge like this at all.
No. Well, that's why I like that episode. Is because like I mean, same with Dave. Like I played it, but I never got into it. So this was really cool to see. I guess the inner workings, if you will, like how the game actually goes without actually having to play it. I thought that was really kind of fun.
I definitely think it was one of those almost like a bottle episode or something where they just kind of threw it in just because it had less of that now we learned something today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
Sort of attitude. No. It was just pure comedy. That's all it was for. Right?
I did really like the how the Blizzard guys, the worker guys, were actually all like, "We don't play this. What?
We have a life.
Yeah, we got a life. Exactly. I love that.
I kept laughing.
Sorry,
I kept laughing at towards the end there where Randy gets the sword of truth, but he has to go log in and he's pushing everybody out of the way wherever he goes because he's in such a hurry, right? Yeah. Because it's so fucking important.
Stupid sword.
And these kids don't die in the fucking video game, right?
It's so nonsense. I love it. It's so great. Just such importance on absurd behavior. It's great. It's great. Yeah. And how great of Blizzard to do that too, to because I mean that was all them. They would have had to render and work it, right? Like that, they would have had to do all that in game. So it's really cool that they signed off on that and helped out with that episode.
Right? Think so?
Absolutely. How would they have done that? How they would have had to.
Animation?
They used the Blizzard the Blizzard, what are they called? Assets to make that. So they would have had to have Blizzard on board to do that with them.
Wow, if that's true, I'm impressed. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think that's awesome. I mean, I think they need that episode made me realize they need to do that more. Like we need to see more. I don't want to say collaborations per se, but more episodes where they take far off chances into those weird realms. And I don't know. Like we don't see that as often. Like Fun with Weapons or Good Times with Weapons, Make Love Not Warcraft. There's only a few episodes where they mess with the animation style or they do some live footage, which is also pretty rare. I think I don't know. I think if they did that, if they did more episodes, not all the time, but like I don't know, just in different worlds, that would be really, really fun. So Trey and Matt, when you watch this,
I have to jump in here for a second because I have to admit I was just going to get the I went and Googled and got some info. Matt doesn't do this anymore, does he?
What do you mean?
He does voices still.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, because whenever I saw at the end of the episodes, they had both their names, but whenever I go look stuff up, it's just Trey.
Oh, the relationship works. Sorry, cut you off, AJ. I know we're gonna say a thing.
Sometimes, sometimes I feel like a foreskin.
You can explain. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say something else, and now I don't remember because I made a funny joke.
That was pretty funny. Yeah. Trey's kind of like the director / leader. Like, everything kind of goes through him. Matt's like his steady weight, if you will. And they both pretty much divvy up the voices. Like, they do equal amounts of voices.
Okay.
And Matt basically channels Trey's ideas into something a little bit more, like, doable.
Gotcha.
Right? It's kind of it. Yeah. And that's always the way they've worked. But I don't think you'll ever see them. Well, that's not true. Acting maybe, but you'll never see them work apart creatively. I don't think you'll ever see that.
Okay, gotcha.
They're too good of friends. But yeah, that's kind of how their relationship works. Yeah. And then for our next episode, honestly, Dave, I thought this was going to be your favorite one. I really did. And that was season 10, episode 14, Stanley's Cup. Stan Marsh.
It was a fun episode.
I thought it would be the most depressing out of all of them. That's for sure.
So I really like the start of it where his bike is getting towed. I thought that was freaking hilarious. Yeah. So I was just like, yeah, okay. Can you imagine a world where that actually happens?
I know. What I thought, and if you haven't seen the episode, go watch it. But they basically, I don't even know how to describe this. Stan can't do his paper route job because his bike gets towed away. Mm-hmm. So he has to go pay the fine, whatever. And then the idea is they get him to coach a Pee-wee hockey team to a cup to be able to get his bike out of impound and do his job. It's so ridiculous with a narrator on board. The cancer part, like, is great. That's all fun. But what got me was the very end. It's like, no matter what happens, the Detroit Red Wings are a bunch of douches and they destroy these kids. And I'm like, yeah, that's the Detroit Red Wings. To a team. And that's why I don't know. I thought that was the best.
Yeah, it was funny. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, you have the Avalanche going, oh, you kids go ahead and play that third period. Yeah, get out there. And then, the Red Wings just go and, kick their butts. Like, literally kick their ass. Yeah.
And what about, like, the whole time together is like, no, I know, but don't get cancer. Well, it's like, coach, if we score, will he die from cancer? And it's like, well, we don't know. His life is in limbo. And it could be teetering on this one possible moment.
Oh, you bet.
When they tie the game, I don't know. It's like his cancer's tied.
It's like,
it's not getting any worse, but it's not getting any better.
Oh my god! It's just so awkward.
Oh, my cancer hurts.
My cancer hurts. It's so morbid, but I can't. Oh Lord, the dark humor is just too good.
It's so funny. It made me almost cough to death.
We're picking up on that.
Oh God, I'm sorry. It gets me too. It's because it's levels on levels of morbid humor to get darker and darker, and you think there's got to be some sort of light in this episode, and there's not. There's just not.
That's true. There is not.
And
kid dies.
Kid dies. The Red Wings brutalize the team, and Stan doesn't get his bike back.
That's why it's like the saddest South Park episode.
It's the saddest episode.
It's such a bummer.
So good. But, Lord.
The other thing in that one I haven't noticed. I almost forgot about. Yeah, your mother's worried sick about you, but I've been watching TV. I love that line. Love it.
Yeah.
Your mother's worried sick, and I've been watching TV. It's just like, nicely done.
Classic Randy line. Classic. Oh my God.
Oh, I love Randy.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. Next episode. Lots to talk about. We already touched upon a little bit. Okay, I need a second.
Are you going to go watch South Park after this, Chris?
Yes, I am. The images are so good. Just oh god, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh! And Ike is the ringer because he's Canadian.
We need a Canadian.
We need a Canadian. Sorry. Okay. All right. Imaginationland. South Park has a number of different multi-part series, and there are a few other ones we thought we would want to get you to watch. Like I was thinking Go God Go. What was the one you were thinking of? AJ, was it the 200 one?
I don't remember.
Anyways, but we thought Imaginationland, Imaginationland, A, because of how long it is, but B, the ridiculous premise it is, and C, the fact that it like has every character known to man in it.
That is funny.
Yeah. And the whole idea, it's like, well, how do you prove that your imagination's real, right?
Yeah. That was fun. I mean, actually seeing every single other character, it was fun to see.
Yeah, yeah. Did you appreciate the premise behind it and the idea that like Kyle has to to save his friend, he has to basically, or is it Stan? No, yeah, it's Kyle. Has to basically prove that Cartman's right. If he does, well.
Oh yeah, that was all fun.
Yeah. And for me, like that whole ending of Cartman still wins because it's imagination.
Because it's imagination. Anything that happens in your imagination is real.
That was funny.
I was like, oh my god, you guys! Like, I just want to know what goes on in their heads when they think of stuff like that. Like, that wasn't a quick off the cuff idea. Like they hustled. They put a lot of time and effort into.
They built that one, yeah.
Yeah, that slow play, right? And the whole thing is like you will see Kyle suck Cartman's balls. Like that's the whole thing. It's like that's what people want to watch. It's like, oh yeah, they actually did it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get in trouble for this. Totally off that topic, but yeah, this episode made me wanted to go back and watch the old movie Stargate.
Oh yes,
I can see that.
Sure. Yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like,
"Yep,
that was a great movie." I saw that at my 13th birthday or something.
I thought the same. Yeah, I go watch.
I like the part where Stan gets sucked into the imagination there, and everybody's in Kyle's heads, and he's talking to them. He's like, "Hold on, Jesus wants to talk to you."
They go one by one.
He says like half a sentence. Is like, "Hello, Jesus." No, Stan. No, Kyle. This is Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, or somebody. Yeah. And they go through the whole list, and he gets tired.
What, is God there too? Yeah, but he'll talk to you after Captain Crunch.
Like we're getting a lot to talk to Kyle. That's such a ridiculous idea. Oh my god. Oh shit. I can't think of another show that does this to me. Like that just gets me. Like by just thinking about it, it's very rare. Oh my word! Oh god!
Yep.
Yeah, I love imagination.
No, it was up here. It's up here. It's imagination.
That was funny.
We don't remember. It was so fucking long.
They just they rip on so many great old school tropes in that episode with the whole like Captain Kangaroo kind of idea. And I don't know about you guys, but I got like a Teddy Ruxpin sort of kind of vibe with that airship idea.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yeah, like
yep.
I don't know, just tying it all together. It's just oh my word, it's fantastic. And I mean, to be fair, Dave, we didn't really give you a whole lot of newer episodes, and it's not that they're bad. It's just this is what we wanted to watch when we do research for this show.
And, as I kind of allude to the start, I enjoyed all of these. It is a funny show, and I'll happily. It's not a show that I would walk away from or anything, or be like, fuck that. It's just, I never got into it. I'm not gonna, if it was on one of the programming networks I subscribe to, I'd maybe watch a few more things like that.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I think definitely, and I'm sure AJ will agree with me on this. Like, there's a legacy factor. Like, I feel like I have been watching since it started, and it's just like I mean, I know that there was a time in my life that I went through bouts of not watching it for whatever reason. Maybe I miss a season here or there or whatever. But I would say mid-20s, I've been watching every episode as soon as it comes on air. And again, like, I'm pretty sure it's definitely because of a nostalgia thing or, like I said, a legacy thing, because I've been into it for so long, right?
Yeah, it seems like the people who've been into it as long as you and I are more into it, I guess, than people who find it later on are a little more like Dave. It's like, it's a show. It's funny.
Exactly.
But it's not, not my favorite.
Yep, exactly. Which I respect. And I'm also grateful too. Like, I mean, this could only happen because of time, but South Park wore a lot of flack for being this, potty humor kind of show and whatnot. And now that it's aged relatively gracefully, not all episodes, but for the most part, now they've got a fan base that get it. And you have these, philosophical debates on South Park. You have people that are, you know what I mean? Like, it's expanded past this sort of potty kind of humor idea of a show, and it's transcended into something a little bit bigger, which I think is just amazing. I think also too, like, they can keep making the show forever. Like, wow, what's stopping them, right? Like, Dave, do you know how the show's made? Like, how, like, we should have showed them that, shouldn't we? 6 Days to Air.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So, AJ, do you mind explaining the process?
Essentially it takes a week. It only takes a week for them to put an episode together, and sometimes they are getting the episode in literally 30 minutes before it's supposed to air.
Wow.
Like, they go from idea to animation to recording to editing to release within 6 to 7 days.
Wow.
6 to 7 days. Yeah.
Something like that. So it's impressive, really, especially for an animated feature where, or not feature, but television show.
Yeah.
To get, usually it takes months to get an animation.
Oh, easy.
Done.
Like
but I think it's because of the animation style that they developed based off of what they did originally with the cardboard cutouts, right? Or the construction paper cutouts or whatever. They just switched the mouths, and then they just essentially plopped that into a computer, that idea, right? So you could have all the base models of kids and scenery and everything like that, and it would just be easy to just switch one thing out, right? Because, I mean, it's all 2D.
Yeah.
Crap, you don't have to really think about what the hell does the back of Cartman's head look like when you're looking at it from the side or some stupid shit, right? Yeah,
for sure.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, cool. And I mean, fun fact, they created the first viral video. That was how South Park was started. Like, So it was a video back in the day. I don't remember the full story leading up to it, but basically it was basically Jesus versus Santa, and it was called The Spirit of Christmas. And
it was a virtual Christmas card for their friends or some shit,
right?
As well.
And was it George Clooney that got a hold of it somehow? And he ended up.
Remember.
I think it was George Clooney, and he ended up like sharing with all his friends. Came this huge thing, and then I think someone like Comedy Central was like, we think we want to make this into a show, and then crazy thing, like, before South Park, Comedy Central was showing like old episodes of Carol Burnett, some stand-up comedy, and then South Park turned them into a legitimate channel.
Nice.
And
I'm pretty sure they're still one of the only reasons Comedy Central exists.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because Netflix does the stand-up comedy thing. You have Nick at Night doing the old reruns of comedy shows and stuff like that. So it's not something that they have a monopoly on, is that brand of broadcasting. But with South Park, having South Park there, and it opened up the doors to more absurd television, I think, too.
Yeah.
Like, there was a show called, I don't know if either of you guys have ever seen it, called Strangers with Candy.
Oh, yeah.
And it was originally on Comedy Central. And for those who are uninitiated, it's about a 40-year-old woman who decides to go back to high school after living a life of prostitution and drugs and robberies. And, oh, God, it's so one of the funniest fucking shows from like the 90s that I can remember, because the woman who plays Candy, Amy Sedaris, is one brilliant comedic actor.
Nice.
Like, she's phenomenal. So yeah, it kind of opened up for shows like that, and then obviously other stations.
For sure.
I'm sure if there was no South Park, there'd be no Family Guy.
Oh, guaranteed. And if we can, there'd be none of these shows without The Simpsons. The reality is true.
Simpsons did it.
Simpsons did it, right? And South Park did it. But I think you're absolutely right. I think as great as breakthrough as The Simpsons were, South Park just hit it up another level. And then that made Family Guy possible. And then we got all these other awesome shows that we talk about all the time. All because South Park blazed a path. But I think because of the fact that they have such a short turnaround time is what has made them relevant for so long and topical. Like, I mean, you can't do that if you like. What did they say? I think a Simpsons season order is from order to completion is like 8 months, like 9 months to do all the episodes. And in that time, you have so many people looking at it, they're refining it and trying to, make this better, blah, blah, blah. And you lose jokes, you gain, all this sort of stuff along the way. I mean, I don't think I'm stretching it by saying Simpsons become a bit of a watered down product, maybe because of that process. Whereas South Park doesn't get that opportunity. Like, they don't even get it to their editors or the reviewers of Comedy Central before it has to air. Sometimes, like AJ said, it's just on air. So you have to stay topical and relevant, and hopefully your stuff flies. And I don't know, it just creates
a stick. Yeah,
it creates a biting edge to their humor, which I don't think you see as often as other shows.
Well, relevant being, I mean, we could even talk about the pandemic special.
Yeah, we can,
and how relevant that was to what was going on, and how quick. Because I was watching it just before I came here, and there were things where it's like, wow, this was literally at the beginning of the pandemic.
It's true,
and it's everybody has now learned to wear their masks above their mustache place as opposed to chin diapers.
That's right.
That's right. That's funny.
Also, too, and then in correspondence is the vaccine special, which is basically the idea that vaccines are the new cool thing to do, and because old people get them first, they're now the new cool people. And it's just such a great idea. It's like, they're treating CVS like it's a nightclub, and everybody's trying to get in, but you can't get in unless you're 80 or over. It's like, it's just such a, I don't know. It's just a great idea. I very much enjoy their minds and thought processes, for sure. We haven't even touched on all the other great stuff like Team America that they've done. Scratch the
that was a funny
Orgasmo. Movie. Oh, so good. And the movie
Cannibal the
South
Musical.
Park. Cannibal the Musical, which is, have you never seen that?
No.
Brilliant. It's
just
kind
brilliant.
of like a live action South Park in a way. Like the jokes, the way the jokes hit, and some of the musical numbers.
So let me set you up, Dave. Here's why you're going to want to watch this.
Okay.
Here's why. It's a trauma style film, which trauma, if you think of like Toxic Avengers or Toxic Crusaders, that style of kind of B movie comedy or movie. And it's about a gold panning group going to pan for gold.
It's about the Donner Party.
Yeah, the Donner Party. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a true story. It's based off a true story.
It's based on a true story. And apparently somebody in their party, when they got all cold, started killing people and chopping them up and eating their bodies, held on trial, and it's a musical.
Yeah, like a Broadway style musical.
Yeah, like full on.
And it's very funny.
It's very really funny. And everything about it is great. This is the first thing they ever did, by the way. Like there was nothing before this. Well, a little bit of South Park, I think, maybe, or the beginnings of it. And it's a wild, fun film that you can find on YouTube. And it's ridiculous and hilarious. And to see them before they were
big,
anything South Park, it's just great.
Large asset, yeah.
For sure. So
now, I was definitely disappointed to find out that basketball was not theirs.
Yeah. No, that wasn't there.
They didn't write or direct it or anything. I'm sure they changed a shit ton of lines and everything like that.
Oh, they were heavily involved in that regard, but yeah, that wasn't their movie.
And it's funny though, because it does again seem like the same kind of like Orgasmo. It's that comedy. It must be the delivery. It must be the delivery of the lines, because it's very I guess that's kind of my point, is like I thought it was written, directed by Matt and Trey.
It feels like it was for sure. Do you remember that movie, Dave?
Yeah, I remember Basketball.
Yeah, it is weird. It seems like something that they would totally do. Like it was
right.
Everything.
Yeah,
Just
I think
guess
the guy who did it, Airplane and Naked Gun. I think he was the guy who wrote and directed it. Yeah.
You haven't looked it up in a while. Although I did watch the movie like a week ago. So
I have not seen it in years, I must admit.
It's just a fun ride. It's a fun ride.
It's not even. It's a non-thinker.
Exactly.
It's
and it's just fun jokes
you put in, and it's just
I remember back in the day when the movie was coming out, because we would have been kids at that point. And I remember our old friend Dave, Adam Wenzel, and I trying to play basketball in your driveway, and it did not go so well. You need more than two people, apparently. So
and you need more rules. Me and my buddy kind of did the same thing. We weren't the sporty types, but after we watched it once, we realized that they don't give you all of the rules and everything for the game,
right?
Or even how it's set up and stuff like that. So we actually went and we tried to map out, if this is what they give us, what can we fill in, sort of thing. And we tried to make a legitimate basketball rule kind of sheet. And I don't remember what happened to that. I'm sure that fell apart about 20 minutes later.
Yeah, whatever. Play basketball.
It was one of those. This is stupid. Let's go jump back in the pile kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Know those rules for sure. And on that note, anyone have favorite characters? Do you want to talk about anything like that?
Oh wow, a list. I have a list of, and I wouldn't even say it's like, I love the boys.
Oh sure.
But I like the side characters a little bit better. I like Butters.
Yeah,
I think Butters is one of my favorites. I feel bad for him a lot though.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Butters. Huh?
Poor Butters. But there's some situations, some episodes that revolve around Butters, which are, I would say, classic, like Butters Bottom Bitch.
Oh my god!
I don't know if you've seen that one, Dave.
No.
Butters becomes a pimp, a legitimate pimp, but the way he sets up his business is like, you would want to work for Butters kind of thing. Like he gets the girls health insurance, he gets them housing, he gets them scholarships.
Wow.
And he's like the best pimp ever. And he's this little like 8-year-old kid, right?
Nice.
It's Butters' kissing business.
Kissing business, that's right. Yeah.
He makes money from selling kisses. I love Butters, Towley, and Randy. I would probably say are my top three.
Right on.
Butters, Towley, and Randy. What about you, Chris?
Oh, definitely. I think Butters is my number one. Randy, a very, very, very close second. I love the Kenny episodes. I just love them. I think, like, especially the Princess Kenny and all this stuff. Like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Like, I love
what about
it.
the Mysterions?
You like the exactly.
The Coon and Friends episodes.
I can't believe I'm saying that. Like, I love the boys in general, but I feel like those three, a lot. I love Garrison too, because he's so depraved. Oh my god, there's just so many good. I would say, I'll just stay with those. Well, I'll say for sure Butters, Randy, and then maybe the Kenny episode.
I'll say my wife was pretty upset when she didn't see Ika Penis on the episode list.
There's so many. We could have done all about the Jeffersons. We could, you know what I mean? Like,
there's. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's ignorant. Yeah. There's so many, like, and unfortunately, just some are gonna have to. But you know what that means? We can do a second episode, a second podcast. We can
do the sequel, yeah.
Exactly. Maybe we'll do a live watching or something. I don't know. We'll talk about our whatever. If our tens of fans want to see that, I mean,
out of the episodes that you've seen, Dave, who do you gravitate towards as your favorite?
I don't really think I really gravitated to really any of the. Yeah, like definitely just the core, in my opinion, were the best. Obviously, like all
the most familiar ones to you.
Yeah, the most familiar ones. It's just the ones that I never really connected with any of them though. Yeah, like it's just they all had essence of me. Like certainly Eric. He's just kind of that. You do it my way. This is the way. I am the center. Like okay, it was funny. It was a funny. Except when he dressed up as a woman in the wrestling one, that was still just as funny.
I was gonna say I'm glad you didn't connect too much with Eric because that dude's just a little sociopath. Like he, I don't know if you've seen this episode here, Dave, but he murdered some guy's parents and then put him into a chili and then had a chili cook-off with him and made the kid eat his own parents.
Did he win?
Define win.
I guess in Cartman's world, yeah, he did.
Oh, great. Yes. Well, good for him.
And he hired Radiohead. He hired Radiohead to come make fun of him and make him cry.
Radiohead did it. Actually came up for the episode. That's great.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of, we haven't even talked about the music. Oh my God, we got to do another episode because I know we're gonna wrap up here soon. But the music, like getting Primus to do their theme song and all the other just amazing musical numbers they've had throughout the day. Elton John being a part of it. Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a number of artists that have shown up and when they take on artists, like, oh my God, they're Phil Collins impression. Oh my God.
Or Rod Stewart.
I
poop my pants. I poop my pants.
Or the Ozzy Osbourne. Okay, all right. Like honestly, like all day, every day, we could do this. So I think we have to do a sequel episode of South Park. So that means, Dave, you're gonna have to watch more, and then we'll. Yeah.
As I said at the start, I'm okay with that. It's not that I hated it.
I know.
Just yeah.
Well,
and I know we had a small discussion where I did ask. I think when you sent me the episode, like, why are they all so old? You know what? And there was one of I was supposed to watch the Kobe one, which I didn't get to, my bad. Yeah. But yeah, maybe I need to watch some of these more recent ones or when things open up again.
Yeah. You know what? Now I'm when we're done this, just for our own personal pleasure, I'm going to send you the episodes of the Trump election. I think there's like 3 or 4. The whole season, because it was serialized, it's almost kind of worth watching, but just the 3 or 4 episodes to see kind of how they pivoted, I think you might appreciate that. I think you might think that's okay. Right. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, I totally forgot Caitlyn Jenner was in those.
Oh, yeah. Buckle up, buckaroo. Okay. I think someone tells me on this podcast we're going to continue talking about South Park, but whatever. That's besides the point. So,
Faith plus one.
Faith plus one. Well, guys, I think I learned something today. And that is, South Park is far better with your friends. Whether we get to watch it or we get to talk about it, it's a good time. It's a good time. And honestly, I can't say enough great things about this show. And if you don't watch it, let us know why. Are you a fan of South Park? Do you care? Do you think it's a bunch of toilet humor? Do you think they're really smart? Or do you think we're a bunch of idiots for talking about South Park? We want to hear from you. We want you to be a part of this and talking with us, so we can start to do live podcasts and all that sort of stuff. So let us know your thoughts on South Park and adult animation and all that stuff. And for those that are out there, wherever you are in your life, we just want you to know, thanks for watching. But you also matter. You matter to not just us. You matter to those that are in your life. If you feel the need to reach out, do so. It's important. And, until next time, I've been Harvey.
Dave Trickle. Nice. Very well done.
Oh my God, you impersonated Kenny.
I'm a bastard.
And you've been sarcastically distracted. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have an awesome, awesome day. Bye-bye.
Bye now.